17 Finance Committee meeting, and we'll now stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, so guess we'll ask for a roll call at this time. Doesn't have to do this. Can you hear what they're saying?
Yeah, I can.
Mr. Neto. Present. Mr. Finkel. Here. Mr. Bergström.
Here.
Mr. Hayes.
Here.
Mr. Rosenthal.
Here.
Robert Smolin.
Here.
Robert Leslie.
Here.
Robert Colton.
Here.
John Hudson. Stephanie Rosicki.
Yes.
Did I say Robert Colton? Yeah, always over there. Rick Farrar, Mr. Chairman. Thank you. So at this time, we'd ask for a motion to adopt or revise the meeting agenda. I think we need a revision. A motion to revise.
Would be a motion to revise the agenda to move the approval of the engineering services contract.
Yeah. To approve an amended and restated bond resolution.
Right.
Do we have that motion?
I'll make the motion.
Any seconds?
On my end?
Yes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any objection? Okay, so the agenda has been revised to reflect the amended and restated bond resolution. So at this time, we'd ask for a motion to approve the March 28, 2017 Finance Committee meeting minutes.
Make that motion.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, any opposition? So moved. So committee business today, we have several items of new business, including the advancement to the full board and recommendation of its adoption, both the Hudson River and Black River assessments and calculation of the state share. So Mr. Farrar, if you want to summarize those items.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, on page 5 is my memo. Basically addresses the resolution to approve annual watershed and state assessment for both the Hudson River area and the Black River area. On page 6 is the resolution addressing the approval of the annual assessment for the operation maintenance of storage reservoirs in the Hudson River area. That is for the third year of the budget, beginning July 1st, 2017, ending this June 2018. The three-year budget that began back in July 1st, 2015. No change to the basis for the resolution. The amount of the assessment remains the same for the Hudson River area, which is $2,994,100. And the board has any questions?
No.
The actual assessment breakdown is on page 8 amongst the 5 counties: Oregon, Rensselaer, Saratoga, Washington, and Warren.
Is it the county share at 2.9 million?
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
This is the final year of 2.994,100. After this,
It's back to a normal.
This is pursuant to that prior agreement?
Yes.
Their settlement?
March 13th, 2013 consent agreement.
Okay.
Do you want to do them all at once, or do you want to go one at a time? All right. So at this time, we'd ask for a motion to advance to the full board and recommend its adoption the Hudson River assessment as proposed.
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Finkel.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? So that's been advanced. So the second one would be with respect to the state share.
State share for the Hudson River area, the resolution is on page 9. That amount for and this is the 22.18% of the balance of the amounts due for the Hudson River area, and for the third year of the budget, the state's portion is $852,906. Page 10 and 11 is the actual assessment fee for the state.
Any questions?
Move.
Comments? Okay, so I'd ask for a motion to advance to the full board and recommend its adoption, the Hudson River area's New York State share.
I make the motion.
Mr. Bergson.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Third item would be the Black River area assessment.
Page 12 is the resolution to approve the annual assessment for the operation maintenance of Black River area for the same period, third year of the budget, beginning July of this year and June 30th of next year. Same budget beginning July of 2015. And the now therefore be resolved is that the assessment for that period of time will be $921,207, and that is split among the hydros, which are reflected on pages 15, 16, and 17, and the 5 counties, which is broken down on page 14. I'll just give you the total split. The counties will pay $66,143 of that amount, and the hydros will pay the balance.
Fair enough. Any questions or comments?
No.
So I'd ask for a motion to advance to the full board and recommend its adoption of the Black River area assessment as proposed.
I'll make that motion.
Have a second?
I think I'll second it.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
No opposition noted. So the fourth item would be the state share of the Black River area.
And that is on resolution is on page 18.
Oh, sorry, guys.
And as that amount for the third year, final year of the budget for the Black River area state share is a fixed amount, and that is $250,000.
Any questions or comments?
No, I'm good.
All right. So I'd ask for a motion to advance to the full board and recommend the adoption of the New York State share for the Black River area.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion advanced. So fifth item would be discussion relative to the funding of the Conklinville Dam capital project. The amended resolution.
Does anybody have a copy of my particular memo, the one that I did?
Is that the one you sent us?
Yes.
By email?
Read that, have a good chance of understanding what the intention is.
No, I don't have it.
I don't have
All right, so my memo addressed were the 3 resolutions.
What page of our?
That was a separate. That
Oh.
came to you
He just
by
sent
email.
a couple of days ago. He just sent it to us.
Oh, I thought are you giving it up? Because
I'm giving it up because I
have it online.
What's that?
I have it online if you
Oh, you
need
just
it.
want that? I have a copy.
Okay.
Very good. So I broke the memo down. Again, the memo in the board packet was basically a placeholder. We didn't really know where we were going to be at this time, but it addresses 3 resolutions. One resolution to approve the revised, an amended and restated bond resolution. The second would be a resolution authorizing the project funding agreement, short-term version. The final resolution would be one to authorize the issuance of bond anticipation notes. I'll just highlight my memo. As you recall, the original resolution that was passed back in January 2015 called for a maximum estimated cost to complete the spillway reconstruction project at $3,246,867. Following that bond resolution, we were approached and had discussions with EFC, and it was determined at that time that we would take EFC up on their offer to fund the project. So that's where we're at that time. Following numerous meetings, conference calls regarding the cost of the project, we discovered that there was an engineering component that we needed to include in the total cost. We went through a request for qualification process, awarded the work to Schnabel Engineering. That is the proposal that is before the board at the regular meeting. That proposal called for the work to be done, an investigation at $1,079,000. Also following that, there was a component in that proposal that called for final designs and construction observation, which is now part of the $1,079,000. We estimated that at, to get the two components, $700,000 for final design and $300,000 thereabouts. So we've also, so that's $1 million. So that $1,000,000 and the $1,079,000, totaling $2,079,000, was not contemplated in the original total cost that was that original bond resolution of $3,246,867. So now that we've raised the additional total cost of the project by that amount, the bond resolution now needs to be amended and restated to reflect that amount and to add those two new components to the original amount. You're at $5,325,867. Total cost of the project. However, on the funding side, I've recommended that the funding for that additional work come out of the district's general fund. So that would not add to the project financing. So the financing, the original financing amount, which EFC put together and is reflected in the project funding agreement, is for $3,064,000. That amount is not changing. So we've raised the total amount of the project, but we've elected not to include that in the funding from EFC. So that's your restated bond resolution. I don't know if we want to.
I have questions. What's our general fund amount? If you go to page 116 of my report, as of May, the general fund in the Hudson River area is $5,516,679 as we sit here today.
That's our general fund amount?
Correct.
On the Hudson.
On the
Hudson River side, correct.
We're all talking just Hudson on this.
Okay.
And so to put that in, I think, even better context, is that's $3.5 million at a point where we've received all of our past due assessments, and now we're right at the new assessment season. So we're right at the point where we're going to receive $2,994,100 from the counties, $1 million from the state, and whatever we get for permit fees and our FERC, federal headwater benefit fees of $476,000. So from a surplus standpoint, we are in a very, very good position.
So we can absorb that.
That and probably more.
Well, can I ask you, are there any outstanding liabilities that need to be paid down?
Other than the biggest liability that the Hudson River area side has is the Black River area note.
Okay.
That we're paying.
And how much is that?
And Erie. And the court case.
Well, I mean, that's not, well, I mean, technically, that's not a liability. It's a potential.
It's a risk.
But it's not a liability. It's not on the books. Again, it's a reality.
Well, the Black River area liability, how much is that?
We're paying $10,000 a month. I think it's down, I have to check, $2.6 million. It was at $3 million and change. So the debt service on that note is very palatable. It's not affecting the way the Hudson River area operates in any way, shape, or form.
How do we get from $3 million to $5 million? I mean, I know the explanation. Maybe it will be coming in the presentation. But how are we unable to anticipate $2 million in expenditures.
Well, I don't think it was unanticipated. Those are subsequent phases that needed at this point in time to be reflected in the resolution, the bond resolution, which I believe really wasn't fully made clear from EFC as far as I understand, and that needed to be included even though the bond itself would not be written to that amount. So, construction cost, construction observation, which are stages that will occur anywhere from 2.5 to 3 years from now, need to be reflected going into the $3.2 million bonding effort. So it wasn't that they were unknown. It was that becoming aware of the fact that it needed to be reflected, even though we weren't borrowing that much at this stage, became known.
Wouldn't we know that stuff? Wouldn't we be able to anticipate down the road there's going to be additional expenditures needed? That's frankly, I'm just a lowly lawyer. I don't. That's where I get lost in all this.
That really wasn't made known to the district.
To include it in that
To
particular
include it in
bond
the
issue.
resolution.
One at a time.
Okay. We knew it, what Rob is saying, we knew there'd be additional cost. At the time that we put this bond resolution together,
Okay.
it was not contemplated at that time to include this particular part of the work.
And just to be clear, for the follow-on phases of the remediation of the Conklingville Dam project, there are more expenses that are beyond that, the costs are only estimated at this time.
That are also
Not part of this bond resolution.
Will we be back
I
down the road?
Then I have a question. If we hadn't have gone through EFC for the bonding, then does that mean this cost wouldn't have been levied on us, or we still would have been?
It still would have been.
We
would have just bonded it.
I mean, you're making it sound like we're being levied these extra charges because we went through EFC.
We are packaging this in this bond resolution because the EFC project financing agreement, they asked us to make sure that it was all captured for this phase of the construction project.
Correct.
All right.
We will have to return to the board with additional requests, bond resolutions for the follow-on phases of the project.
And how then, following up Mr. Bergstresser's question, how is it that, it's kind of inconsequential at this point, but how does that hold up the closing of the EFC? Because I know that the closing itself has been pushed back because of this.
Yes.
The local finance law requires a notice provision, and because we're passing a revised resolution, we need to renotice it.
Well, what if we just closed down the loan and then revisited it?
Well, they will close. They will close on a notice.
That's the answer. They won't.
EFC would not do so.
Okay, that's the answer.
Right. So they will need this approved, amended, revised bond resolution, which would require a 20-day notice.
20-day notice, and as well as the approval.
But the timing is not an issue per se. So I mean, we could close as early, and EFC will tell us, that we could close as early as July 6th. And they close every Thursday, so it's not like if we miss the 6th. Right.
Only on a Thursday will they do closings?
That's just
Gee, that's not rigid.
No, it's very flexible.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks for the explanations.
So do we need a motion to advance to the full board?
Do we want to do them each or go through the whole thing?
Any further questions or comments?
I'm not sure. Go ahead.
Well, I have one. I think I have a brief one. We have $3.5 million surplus in the general funds, but don't you think it'd be useful to pay down that Black River area debt with some of that money instead of to cover costs of future projects over there?
We could absolutely do that.
I'm just saying, I thought we had prior discussions.
Staff has had discussions around that subject, and I think our only...
Can we transfer money still? I mean, you're talking about taking...
We'll be paying down the principal. So they owe us, we owe, the Hudson River owes the Black River $2.7. I'm not sure of the amount. We could, like on any outstanding loan, you could pay the principal down.
On any Thursday.
On only Thursday.
Well, just to remind all, regarding the finances on the Hudson River side and on the Black River side, we've just completed the Black River apportionment. The Hudson River side, looking at it, my assessment that we're becoming fiscally stable with a positive outlook on the Hudson River side.
Mhm.
So as we look at the district money in total, and as we look at the proposed capital projects that are out there, the money that was loaned from the Black River side to the Hudson River side that we're paying back, that when the time is appropriate and when the board directs, we will move that money as necessary to cover construction costs for the projects on the Black River side.
Okay.
And then, by then, we will have the outcome of the U.S. District Court of Appeals for the D.C. Circuit, and we will have certainty from a legal perspective as to what the final outlook, the Black River apportionment will be completed, the Hudson River apportionment completed, as well as the lawsuit either settled or continued. And then we will know the full picture, and we will have, by then, Schnabel will have done some of their work on Tonkhamville, Arcadis will have done some of their work in Six Lake and Old Forge, and then we'll have the ability to be much more predictive as to the full capital cost for each of the projects in both of the areas.
I guess what we're saying, we could even transfer money as needed.
Sure.
To the.
That's correct.
Yeah.
I'd also point out that on page 116,
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
We're taking $2 million out of the general fund right now. I just think the discussions would be fruitful in the future.
but
Yes.
I'd also point out that the Black River area currently has a fund balance also, and theirs is 1.5 million.
Sure.
So they have a fairly significant,
No.
actually probably more significant given the size of their budget versus
1.5?
1.5 million. So
Well, ultimately, the surpluses would benefit beneficiaries.
absolutely, this is what we generally contemplate surpluses to do, to mitigate any increases in assessment, or quite frankly, mitigate assessment increases by reducing the capital outlays.
And we're entering a very significant period of capital-intensive outlays for the district to take care of dam maintenance issues. My mantra is then, the main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing. And that is dam maintenance that's not been done in the past, that needs to be done. And we've got a lot of information on what needs to be done. And the strategic plan, if you will, we can work to bring that to the board and show where each of the dams are and their maintenance cycles, and what we will end up estimating is the cost to be able to do that. But I'm satisfied that we're almost there to be able to answer not only the board's questions, but the beneficiaries' needs for where the money is going.
Okay. I'm all right.
All right. So at this time, I'd ask for a motion to advance to the full board and recommend the adoption of 3 resolutions. First, do you want to do them separately? First resolution to approve and amend and restate the bond resolution.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? So resolution passed. Second resolution, or motion I'm asking for is to advance to the full board and recommend the adoption of a resolution authorizing the project funding agreement in the short term.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? So it's been passed. Third motion I'd ask for is a motion to advance to the full board and recommend adoption of a resolution authorizing the issuance of bond anticipation notes.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? All right, so motion passed. So lastly, I think that was the last item for the Finance Committee, so we'd ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting adjourned.